In this video, I do some shootboxing with Sifu James, owner and instructor at New York Martial Arts Academy. But before the shootboxing, we did some pure boxing rounds to warm up. If you don't know what shootboxing is, it's just a name for boxing with wrestling only. As you can see, James is not only extremely fast and has quick reaction, but he is really good at managing his distance. So you can imagine how tough it is to take him down later on in the shootboxing rounds. James has an extremely strong takedown defense, and I will be breaking down how he defends my takedowns and how I need to strategize to be able to eventually get him down with some chain wrestling. So Sifu James goes to collar tie me, but I made sure to get inside bicep control by swimming my arms inside. I then transitioned into a collar tie while the other palm stayed on the bicep. I tugged down on his head with the collar tie, and as soon as I felt his head lift up, I dropped to my knee for my double leg. But James quickly sprawls back and frees one leg, so I transitioned into a single leg. I stand up and try to get his leg in between my two legs, but James does a great job at keeping his leg outside and ends up sprawling to free the single leg. So I quickly transitioned into the over and under hook, attempted to throw James, but he was able to stay balanced. I immediately collar tie again, tugged his head down, and I felt his head lift up, so I reshot for my double leg. This time he quickly sprawls both legs back in time, so I quickly transitioned into the double underhooks, aka the body lock. Just as I thought I had the takedown and was about to finish the backbreaker, he turns into a headlock throw, throwing me to my knees, so I then had to transition back into the single leg. Trying to finish him with a basic single leg takedown, James has good balance hopping on one leg, so I tugged and transitioned back into the double leg. James sprawls, and because my right arm was too high around his rear end, I couldn't lift to finish the double leg, so I finished with the outside leg trip by wrapping my leg around his thigh. What an exchange. Moral of the story, do not give up on the takedown and keep transitioning into the next takedown until you finish it, aka chain wrestling. We reset. James gets me good with a few body shots. I pressure forward and he keeps me back with his long guard. I throw my cross and shift forward into southpaw as I drop to my knee for another double leg. James quickly sprawls out of it, so I transition into the body lock again. I went for another outside leg trip, but with the body lock this time. But James stepped his leg back and I missed. So, going with momentum, I sat through as I pulled down with my left arm and spun him around, almost like a suicide throw, and I was able to land on top. We grab some water and we go another round.
No, very good. Good takedown.
I noticed this time James had his left leg forward, so I decided to attack it with an Imanari roll. I dived onto my right shoulder as I grabbed his leg, looking to leg lock him, but he sprawled on top of me. So I quickly bailed on the attack, sat up and scrambled to take the back. And we got too close to the wall, so we reset. James pressures forward with more body shots. I back up to bait him to move forward at me and timed a second punch with a standing head on the inside double leg takedown. But look at this beautiful sprawl and crossface by James. He pushes my face away to disengage, but I hold on to him with an underhook to stay attached to him. I eventually transition into another collar tie, but he also has his collar tie on me. So I performed a Russian twist to shrug his hand off my head, and as he pulled his head back, I dropped to my knee for another double leg. But beautiful sprawl and turn away from James completely missed his leg. But during the scramble, James dropped his left arm and I was able to go around him to take the back. Baiting James to punch me more, I waited and timed another punch as I shot for the double leg. James was able to sprawl out of the double as usual, but I created an angle as if I was trying to finish a single leg and back into the double leg for the finish. And a beautiful rear uppercut by James to end the round.
You were luring me. I was getting impatient. You were countering me. So you watch the footage. You were countering me. probably hit me 5 out of 1 shot from me, maybe even like 7 out of 1 shot from me. With the wrestling,
you're pushing me.
I baited you.
And I threw.
Yeah.
That's why you're catching with my hands out.
Yeah.
It's not for your offense.
No.
It's my offense.
Yes.
I thought you were pressuring me. Me so.
Well, I was acting like I'm trying to box you.
And then you
And I
fake.
know you're confident with your boxing.
So smart. I just baited you. You baited me punch. I thought you were pressuring me, and the opposite. I was thrown.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have to just be more
Patient.
patient. Like I always tell everybody.
Just like you were in boxing.